Buddy, happy Friday to all of you. Welcome to tonight's Friday Night Live. We are live actually in the Operation Passive Income Facebook group. We're live on Facebook on our business page, and we're also live on YouTube. So this is my first time ever actually doing this through StreamYard. So pretty excited about it. Pretty cool technology. I'm excited for tonight's live. We're going to be talking about online marketing. Real bare basic stuff, but I promise by the end of this video, I'm hoping that you will at least be able to take away something different, see a different path on how all these different pieces can work together. Tonight, it's all about the 4 major marketing pillars to go along with the freebie we did this week, the YouTube video, and the blog post. So we've got a whole bunch that we're going to be talking about tonight. If you guys are joining me live, make sure you hit hashtag live in the comments. If you're catching the replay, put hashtag replay. Again, if we haven't met yet, my name's Shane Parks, and I'm the founder of Operation Passive Income. And a little bit about me. So I actually just recently walked away from my corporate job, part of the Great Resignation, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that a little bit in the news. But when I walked away, it really wasn't because of the whole COVID situation. Instead, I got passionate about 3 years ago about building businesses online. A lot of these cool different business models that you can do from Amazon, drop shipping, digital products, courses, things of that nature. And I started studying. And while I was still working my full 9-to-5 job, which was more like a 7 to 7, instead, at night, I was working on our business. Me and my wife started a business about 2.5 years ago. And since then, we've just been putting a lot of these same tools and tactics that I'm going to talk about together. That's what we started working on. And we were able to build a business over the last 2.5 years that was able to bring us both home, which is really, really cool. And we're kind of in that middle class creator economy, right? Where you can honestly make a good income working from home, talking and doing the things that you're passionate about. So that's what this channel is all about. So I see we got a bunch of comments coming in. Hey, Paige, how you guys doing? Lisa, good to have you. Mel, awesome. And again, tonight, guys, we're talking all about marketing. So when I opened up the Operation Passive Income Facebook group, I had a question in there, right? What would you like to learn? And overwhelmingly, people are talking about marketing, right? Which is how do you get your products, your services in front of more eyeballs, right? Not just more eyeballs, but more of the right eyeballs. You're looking for your target customer, right? That's what we're all out here looking for. The right person. Am I talking to the right people? Okay. But I think too often, we jump in with these ideas and we go online, and the very first place that we turn to is social media, right? We jump on our Facebook, we build a business page because it's easy. We start telling our friends, we start telling our family, and that's the way we kind of approach it. And we leave out a lot of very important steps, a lot of very important assets that can actually help take your business to the next level, right? And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about tonight, if you guys are here, right, I just kind of launched this 9 days ago, right? I've had the brand for a while, but I never had the time to do anything with it. And so about 9 days ago, I went into Drive, right? So I'm sure Paige, Mel, you guys know me from our other business. I just went, right? And so what you guys are going to see, if you've watched some of my emails, my website, my channel, you're going to see a lot of what I talk about tonight is me putting those exact same things like into motion, right? But I'm also not the only one doing this stuff. There's a lot of people out here that are using these exact same concepts, putting them to use. And for a lot of people, those are the people that we follow, right? And so if you're building a business online, you got to get followers. But the only way to really truly gain followers is to be a leader, right? And so it takes a little bit of leadership to go out and do the things that I'm going to be talking to you guys about tonight. So if you guys are excited to talk about marketing, drop some fire emojis down in the chat for me. I want to see you guys fired up because I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm like fired up for this. I love talking about business and growth and tactics and strategies. So I'm super excited. So drop me some of those fire emojis if you guys are excited too. And if you guys are catching me up on YouTube, make sure subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash the like button, help me out with the algorithm, trying to grow that bad boy as well. I think we're at 277 subscribers. Like I said, this thing's like brand new, but I want to make sure that I'm bringing you guys as much value as possible. And I'll show you how, right? I went, bam. I even brought me a little presentation. So hopefully you guys like that. I'm a visual learner, so I like to have something to kind of look at, kind of talk through, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between screens here. That way you guys have a little bigger picture. Get it? A little bigger picture of what I'm talking about. So let me get a little drink of coffee in me. All right, guys, let's go ahead and actually kick this off. So Lisa, Mel, Paige, if you guys are ready, we're gonna kick it off. Top 4 pillars of marketing. I said earlier that everybody starts really here, but doesn't really go from there. But I bet you there's probably more to number 1 than what you might be thinking, right? And that's going to be social media marketing. We love our Facebook. We love our Instagram pages. If you're on TikTok, I bet that is probably working out great for you because TikTok is just fire for organic reach. But are we using our social medias in the right way, right? And so what is social media for us and what should it be for us really? First, I mean, this is the place that we actually start to build that following. That's a great start. It's a place for us to kind of share our story and our message. And this is very important. Your business is only as good as the story is really going to take you. And so you want to make sure that you let that part out. If all you are is your product, if all you are is your service, then it's going to be pretty tough to do, right? This is a place for you to be human. This is a place for you to be a person, right? Facebook stories, Instagram stories, that's kind of your behind the scenes life for the people that are interested in what you have to talk about, right? They want to see what's going on in your life. And that's where you can talk about your business alongside your life. And truly, that's where people start to connect for you. But also it's a place that allows you to be present, right? If you're going to be doing some other bigger things, right? Developing a product, or you're looking to launch a new drop shipping store, or you got something you're working on Amazon, you want to make sure that while you're doing all that stuff in the background, that social media is your place just to be present. It's so people can hear your voice. They can see your face. They feel your presence, and that kind of sticks you around, right? So, hey, Crystal, absolutely. This is going to be available for replay. So the replay is actually going to be available in the Passive Income Facebook group and on the YouTube channel. So we are multi-streaming right now, and I'm just having an absolute blast with it. So these are some cool tools that I helped get Janet set up with, my wife, for her videos. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have some fun with that. So that's what I'm doing. All right. So going back, yeah, social media, it's a place for you to be present. People can follow you. They can stick around, see what you're working on. And they can also, and I think this was really big, and this is what I saw happen in our other business, is people really fell in love with our journey, that it really just kind of helped us connect with our audience, right? And so social media is the only place that you can really develop that, because you can interact with your followers like one-on-one, which is absolutely awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about the social landscape, because these are like the big 3, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. These are the big 3 that everybody kind of thinks about at first, and with good sense, right? You can see Facebook has 2.37 billion monthly active users. Instagram's got 1 billion. TikTok, now being the fastest growing social media site, they've got 1 billion active users every single month. The people are here, right? You're looking at 2/3 of the globe is hanging out on Facebook, right? 33% of the globe is hanging out on Instagram. We want to be there, but it also tells us that it's a little bit oversaturated, right? And so we know organic reach is really gone with Facebook. There's not a great way to grow organically just through a business page or even just through a personal page. It's a lot of private networking. And so you want to think about your mediums as you do it, right? And even with Instagram, at this point, you're seeing they've gone away from just the pictures. They now want to compete with themselves with TikTok, right? So they're in TikTok's world. They're focusing on 15-second reels. They're focusing on highlighted story sequences. And so it's all about video. Whereas Instagram used to be all about pictures and hashtags. So we're seeing that a lot of that's kind of changed. And then with TikTok, even though TikTok allows a 60-second video, they're really focusing on 27-second videos, right? And with a strong first 3 seconds, because you got to keep somebody, you want to think about how you're using your social media, because that's how your audience is using social media. So what captures your attention is a good chance that if you're sharing the same vibe, that's how it's going to capture their attention, right? But also, if you're trying to target to a certain particular person, if they're spending all their time on TikTok and you're trying to talk to them over on Facebook, how well are you going to connect with your audience, right? You need to be where your people are. And so it opens kind of that window to go, am I really in the right place, right? But also, and I don't know how many of you, and let me know in the comments, how many of you guys are also on these 3 social medias, right? Because it's not just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's a few others, and they've got enough following, enough active users that maybe it's worth being on there, right? Twitter has 330 million. Now, Twitter is not known for sales, right? Twitter's known through conversations, networking, getting to know people, right? And kind of building your follower count through there. It's not really known for sales. It's not really known for even driving people to your content. But LinkedIn, however, is actually really interesting. It has the second best organic reach outside of TikTok. You can expand your message even further using LinkedIn, right? Now, this is going to be a place where you're really talking more as a professional, right? You're more business oriented on LinkedIn, and your focus is really kind of on video and those articles, right? How can you put out a good piece of content that's going to be shared in a professional space that can bring residual business back to you there? So awesome. Somebody says, I'm in LinkedIn. Now, there is a link, guys, at the top of the video on Facebook. Since we are using StreamYard, you need to click that link to give permission so that I can see who's leaving the comments. So if you're leaving a comment, I'm seeing Facebook user. I'd love to say the name and know exactly who's talking to me, but there's a link in there that'll let you actually do that, okay? But going to the third one on this list is Pinterest, right? A lot of people don't think of Pinterest as a social media, but they consider themselves as that. But the cool thing is Pinterest is actually the 3rd largest search engine in the world, right? Behind Google at number 1 and then YouTube at number 2. But Pinterest has a lot of opportunity, especially when we get to pillar number 2, which I'm going to get to here in just a minute. So keep Pinterest in your head for a minute, because that's where you're going to go find blog posts, videos, and other products, right? A little foreshadowing for you guys. All right. But what is social media not? Social media, and this is very important, y'all. Social media is not your home, okay? Social media is not where you should say, this is my place, because it's not, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they all have changed their algorithms. There's a lot of people who felt like these social media platforms have ruined their businesses, even though it's free, right? We're not entitled to anything. Anybody can use it. Anybody can do what we're doing. So we need to think about what's our backup plan if what's going on TikTok is gone, right? If you get shadow banned, then what do we do? Or Facebook, we know somebody who had a large business growing using Facebook as the main platform, and they lost it. They had their whole Facebook account just turned off, banned, right? Had to start a whole new account. Lost all those contacts, all those connections, all the groups, all the customers, all the leads, gone. And so you need to make sure that you have something of a backup plan, which is going to come within these 4 pillars of marketing. I promise you that. We're going to get to it, right? But also, if all you're doing is social media, then where are you sending your people in order to build up authority, right? How do you prove that you know what you're talking about in this space if you don't have anything else to send them to that's actually yours, right? You may have helpful articles of other people, or if you're in network marketing, if you're just sending people to go shop on that company's website, then you're giving them authority. You're not giving yourself authority, right? So how do you build your authority? It's by building yourself a home on the internet, right? Which brings us to our number 2, which is content marketing. Okay. If you guys know what I mean by content marketing, put it in the comments, right? What do I mean by content marketing? Because what we put out on social media is considered content, right? But this is going to be a little bit different because this is about more long form content, right? This is going to be your blog posts. It's going to be your YouTube videos. It's going to be a podcast. It's a place for you to call home, right? Actual assets that are yours. And the place to call home is truly a website. If you've got a business you're running online at this point, and you don't have a website of your own that you can start curating your content, then really you're kind of a digital nomad, right? You're kind of out in other people's space, okay? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a full-fledged website, but there are tons of opportunities, tons of places that you can actually go and build up a website that's fairly inexpensive, actually fairly easy to do. And I did put some of those resources in this week's freebie for you guys as well. So be sure, if you haven't yet, go through and download this week's freebie. It is available on the website. And I've got I think I actually have, see, there's the website. If you need this week's freebie, it's available at the website, and I will be posting it in the Facebook group by the end of tonight as well. So I will have that. But going back to the content marketing, right? Place to build your authority. This is where you can produce that long form, educational, helpful content. Let me know in the chat if you're a Gary Vee fan or if you ever watched any of Gary Vee's content. Okay. He has this concept called jab, 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 right hook. Okay. Before you sell anything, what kind of value are you providing? You got to give in order to get, right? And you do that through educational and helpful content. Okay. Truly, I have what I call my 3 C's of customer problem solving. Okay. And it's through content, through community, and through commodity, right? What kind of content can help your audience? What kind of community can help lift each other up? And then the commodity becomes the product, right? What's the product that you can offer? What's the way that you can monetize in order to be profitable, right? Because businesses have to be profitable. It's okay to sell things. You should be selling something. But how can you first help, and how can you second build a community around what people are looking for, right? Let me go ahead and hide that banner. We don't need that up all night. And so also, you need a place where you can be found through search, right? We just said Facebook's organic reach is trash. Instagram's organic reach is trash. TikTok's working, but not everybody's comfortable with video. So where can you truly be found, right? You can be found through search, whether that's on YouTube, whether it's through Google, or whether it's through Pinterest, right? Going back to our 3 largest search engines. But in order to be found through search, you got to be willing to go out and make some long form content, right? Some articles, some blog posts, some YouTube videos, or even a podcast, right? A podcast is one that I'm really excited about. It's something that I'm working on putting together in my new podcast. The podcast is going to be called Monetize Your Life. I've got everything all formatted. I just need time to actually sit down and get it started. But at the same time, YouTube provides great long form content, and it's one of the best ways to actually be found for your product. And then having them an opportunity to go back to your website to read an article you put together with some affiliate links or your product, and you are officially in business, right? Regardless of what it is you're recommending to people. If you want to sell TV, sell TVs. If you want to sell gardening supplies, you can write a website and do videos around gardening supplies. sell them affiliate links all day. You're officially in business. That's what's really interesting about this whole process, right? And then what's cool is all of these go hand in hand. You can do a YouTube video that you embed inside your blog post, but also that YouTube video was a podcast that you recorded on Zoom. And now you've got all three. And so you can be in several different places at once with the same piece of long form content. And what does that do for your authority? Right? This guy's a podcast host, he's got a YouTube channel, got a website, and what's nuts, what's crazy is this is all available to absolutely everybody. If I can do it, right? I mean, 3 years ago, I never built a website. I never edited a video. I never shot a video. I never recorded myself on voice. I never wrote an article. I was a retail sales guy. And yet we've been able to take just these simple concepts and some skill development and put together a business that's now I get to hang out with my wife all day. I get to take my daughter to school every morning. I get to pick her up every afternoon. I get to put her to bed every night. And then my son, I've got a 10-month-old son that I get to just see. I got to see him crawl, right? And that's what's really awesome about these concepts, right? Is this is truly all available for every one of us. You just have to have a vision, and you just need to know how these pieces come together. And so I hope if I'm delivering that for you right now, if I'm bringing you guys value, throw me some more fire emojis because I'm just feeling pumped up. Okay. So let's talk. Oh, I just gave away number 3. So in your content marketing, this is as easy as it can get. Okay. By doing one blog post a week, and these are my exact goals. Okay. One blog post a week, one video per week would give you 104 pieces of content every year, right? And you can almost think of these like bubbles. Okay. If you're producing 52 videos on YouTube, 52 blog posts, as time just starts to compound, you have these little bubbles that are just kind of popping up, and each bubble is your content. And that bubble is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And all those bubbles combined makes up a large surface area. And that's you really kind of expanding into the space of the internet. And with each bubble you produce, you are gaining that much more authority in your space. And I can promise you this part, you'll get better at it as you go. You guys should have seen our first website. It was terrible. My website now is not great. Just being honest. I'm blunt with it. I just had to completely redo it because I looked at it one day. I'm like, that looks like trash, right? This is my first time ever being live on YouTube. So this is my second live video in my own group. So, but just by having done parts and pieces over the last 2.5 years, it's like, man, now we can kind of coalesce everything together and let's start building my bubbles, right? Let's expand our authority. And if you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about, leave them in the chat as well. And I'll be bringing those up and we can go through and kind of talk about that. Okay. But let's get into column number 3, because we are already 23 minutes into this and I didn't want it to be an hour. If it has to be, it can be, but that's okay. But talking about email marketing, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is your most important pillar, period. Okay. If you have a business yet, or you want to start a business tomorrow, because you should do it tomorrow. If this is in your heart, you need to get yourself set up with an email provider. Point blank, period. Okay. The reason is because when Facebook changes or Instagram changes, or if you do post content, who are you going to tell, right? You want to be able to start amassing your email list so that as you produce content, or as you have a new product, or if it's time to monetize, or you got a new thing you're doing, you want to be able to let people know, right? And I can tell you that if in our other Facebook group, right, our original, we've got about 10,000 people in there, okay? It's like 9.4 thousand. When we make a post, I can promise you 9,000 people do not see that post, period. Maybe 1,000, maybe 700, right? And then the there's a participation inequality rule, right? That says 90% of people will never engage in content, period. It just ain't going to happen. Another 9% will contribute. They might comment, they might like, they might kind of share, right? But only 1% are the creators. Well, if you only have 700 people reaching it, once you get down to 9%, you have maybe 65 people actually clicking a button or leaving a comment. So you need to make sure that you have direct one-on-one access to the people who said, yeah, I want to follow you, right? The ones who sign up on a landing page, the ones that say, yeah, here's my email. Please let me know when you're doing something. You need to have that direct one-on-one access. Because if you're only counting on social media to do it, or hoping that they're going to come back and find your webpage again, you're dreaming. Okay? Pure dreaming. This is why email is so important. Plus, email allows you to do some really cool things like automate your story, right? You can come up with your story. You can get it all together in a nice sequence. And then when somebody says yes to you and they put in an email address and a landing page that you have in one of your pieces of content, they can have 7 emails delivered over a period of time that walks them through your entire ecosystem. And this is exactly what we have doing, right? And this is where I get to passionate about this passive income part is how can you serve? How can you help people without taking away that time from the people that you love, right? Because I want to give my time back to my family. That's why I wanted to come home so bad. But I still want to serve. I still want to help people. I still want to run my business. I still want to make my money, right? And all those things can be true at once. And really, email is about the place that you really get to start to automate some of that, okay? And the cool thing is over time, because it's just like anything, everything takes time, but you can typically expect to make right about $1 per month for each subscriber, okay? If you've got a good business model, you got a good product behind you and you're marketing it well, as you send that out, typically for every one person, you'll make $1. So if you have a 100-person email list, you got an extra $100 in the bank every month if we're doing this right. We're going to be talking a lot about email marketing on this channel because I think it's such a huge topic. But at the same time, if you get to 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, and that you can monetize $1 a month from, we're in pretty decent shape, right? And that's really exactly kind of where we're getting to. So talking through kind of that automation, and this is what I want you guys to kind of imagine, right? Again, this is why it's so important. Let's say over the course of the next year, you build out 104 pieces of content. And you've got a really great YouTube video out there, and it's got a link, and you tell them that you got this thing, that if they go to the link, they can sign up, and they get it. All of a sudden, no matter when they watch that video, if that link's there and they sign up, you can have this entire process sent through where all of a sudden they're getting not just the freebie that you offered, but maybe tomorrow they get delivered your story. You tell them more about you, who you are, right? What you're all about, the reason why you're doing what you're doing, all those things. And you say, I ain't here to sell you anything, but keep an eye out for more because tomorrow I'm going to send you something really awesome. And so then the next day, automatically delivered, they get your best blog post, the one that you know is a killer, the one you really know that you want people to start with in your ecosystem. That's the post they get. And then in that email, you say, but I got something even better for you tomorrow. So the next day or 2 days later, you send them your best ever video, the one that really pops, the one that's got the best engagement, the one that really shows off your strengths, and boom, they got that. And then a couple days later, that's when you go through and you send them an offer that says, hey, if you liked what you saw in the article, if you liked what you saw in the video, I'd love it if you went through and you checked out my thing, right? Whatever it is you got for sale. And those things can start happening automatically, okay? And just to kind of talk to you guys about just how crazy that concept is, last month, my wife and I, we spent an entire month on vacation. I left my job on June 7th. I put in my notice on May 7th. I gave a whole full month notice. And then July 7th, we took off to Wyoming for a month. And We did do some work while we were up there, but we didn't do a ton. And then we spent an entire week up on the mountain. And we actually had our best month as a business ever. There's my wife, speaking of which. We had our best month ever because we have created these systems and automations that do this stuff for us, right? It's nice to have your systems making money for you while you sleep or while you're on vacation. And you do that through finding opportunities to automate, like email marketing. And this is why this one's so important. It allows you to pivot. It gives you a good home base. You keep track of your customers and you can automate it. You can make it do its own thing, right? And so one question I get a lot when it comes to the email marketing side is, how do you get somebody to sign up for your email list, right? The thing is if you have something of value, which if you know who your target audience is, you know what will be valuable to them, right? And this is why dialing in your niche is so important, because you can create the perfect free guide. You can write the perfect little ebook, right? Or you can give them a great newsletter where you curate the content of exactly what they need. One way that we actually grew quite a bit in the very beginning is we did a giveaway in our Facebook group. We were growing to 1,000 people. We said, wow, we got to 1,000 people. Hey guys, if we get to 1,000 people, we're going to do a cool giveaway. And I didn't want to track that manually. So we created a landing page. Enter yourself, for a giveaway. No purchase necessary. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details. All the good things, right? And we got like 600 people who signed up for our email list from doing a giveaway, right? You can hold a contest as well. And then another big one is you can actually start floating out some ideas, right? So if you're in a group, or if you have your own group, or even out on your social media, you can, if you have an idea for something, right, whether it be a course or a digital product or whatever, float out an interest list. Hey, everybody, this is what I'm working on. This is what it'll do for you. This is the value it'll bring you. I'm still working on it now, but if you're the type of person who'd be interested, fill this out. And I'll tell you what, people fill these things out, right? We actually grew our email list to a little over 5,000, actually fairly rapidly. All things considered, 2 years, right? That's pretty quick growth. So if you guys have any questions on the email marketing, because I know this is one that a lot of people tend to hesitate with. They look for a free option. They're kind of like, because to do this right, it does take money, but to not do it because it costs $20, it's going to cost you so much more in the long run. You go listen to any decent entrepreneur and they're flat going to tell you the email list is the most important thing you need. Period. Right? Now, one cool thing, and in our group, I'm going to be talking a lot about ConvertKit. ConvertKit is the one that I recommend. I actually have a link for you guys in the free guide on that. They're actually going to be doing something really cool the month of September. They're actually going to be doing a bonus. So if you actually grow your customer list, I think they're doing up to a $2,000 bonus right now. Okay. I do have a partner link that I can share to get you into that event, so you're eligible for those bonuses. So if you guys are interested for that, that's in this week's free guide, okay? I'm not going to hawk a link out there, but it's in the guide for you guys. But I'm going to move on. We talked a lot about email marketing. We're going to talk about number 4, and this is not for the faint of heart, and I don't want you to even do it yet, okay? And that's paid advertising. It's on here because it is one of the 4 pillars, okay? But if you're just starting your business, if you need to focus on your content first and building your infrastructure and your systems, you have no business doing paid advertising yet, okay? You do not want to use paid ads to get people to a video. You do not want to do paid ads to grow a Facebook group. You do not want to do paid ads on just a blog post. That is not where you want to put your money, okay? To be honest, we just started doing paid ads as experiments. And over the last 2 years, we've spent a total of $300 on paid ads. Total. Okay. We're about ready in our other business to go all in on paid ads, but that's because this is fuel for an already converting flow. Okay. If you've got a product that's really starting to move and you've automated it and it's selling well, and you know that you can solve somebody's problems, that's when paid ads happen. Okay. If you've already got a little fire burning, that paid ads is gasoline on top to make it go, whoo, right? That's what paid ads are for, not when you're starting. Okay. So it is one of the 4 pillars. It is an important part of online marketing, but if you're just going, we're going to steer clear of it. So this is a single slide. I ain't even talking much about this. The one thing that I will add is you can do paid advertising anywhere, right? TikTok has sponsored posts, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube ads. You can do advertisements in all your major platforms. So if you're going to do an ad, again, know your target audience, know exactly where they're going to be, and do it there. Don't just throw it at Facebook because Facebook's big. Okay. Definitely not where you want to go. But as we kind of bring everything together, okay, and I'm going to get to a Q&A session here towards the end. So if you guys have any questions at all, make sure you put it in there. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button for me. If you're watching on Facebook, if this is valuable, if you think of anybody that could use this information, okay, please share it. I'd love to grow this group and bring value to as many people as possible. So I appreciate your guys' support there. And if this is value, give me a hashtag value. Okay. If I'm bringing any value to you guys right now, put in a hashtag value for me. And if you have any questions, start putting them in now, because we're going to bring all this together. Okay. So I want you guys to think about, as you're building this all together, if you start with a YouTube video, getting that YouTube video into a blog post, right? Getting the blog post into your email, send it out to the audience that you've built up on social media. Okay. That's really where this all comes together. But then you can reverse the flow, right? From the flow, you can take your social media and start curating people onto your email list. And from your email list, you can make sure that anytime you post a new blog post, that you're sending that out to your email list. And for every blog post you make a matching video to explain the concept that you're doing, right? And this is how you create your own personal ecosystem, your own personal structure, right? And then you feel like you have a home on the internet. This is your space, right? It's not just Facebook space. It's not just TikTok space or Instagram's. This is your space that you've built, right? It's your own real estate. And that real estate can be valuable, right? But then this is actually from a different training that I'm working on, but I just kind of wanted to at least bring this into you guys as kind of like a visual, right? If you go through to start building your content flow plan, think about how people move through your ecosystem and which direction do they go, right? Are you taking people from Facebook and getting them into a Facebook group? How do you get somebody from TikTok into your Facebook group, right? What link should you share in your TikTok and your Instagram, right? Because you get one link total ever. Well, there's some really cool features like Milkshake. It's a free app that you can build a free little mini website that works great just to direct people where you want them to go online, right? And so this here is just kind of meant to be an example of how you can kind of bring all this stuff together inside your mind, right? How do you go through it and do some of this? And I want you all to remember too, like all of these things are meant to be built in conjunction. If you lean on one, if you watched last week's video where we talked about the Pantheon, right? The Pantheon of purpose, my little Jenga blocks. The average person has like 1.78 income streams. Okay. So if you just take 2 pillars and one's only 3/4 the size of the first one, and you put a roof on it, it's really unstable, right? A strong wind blows and your whole thing's going to fall down. We can think about that with our marketing too. Okay. However, if you're not ready for the paid advertising yet, if we get rid of this one, there's still plenty of 3-legged stools that sit just fine. And you can stand on those 3 for a while until you have something you're ready to pour gasoline on and turn those Facebook ads on, right? So that's really kind of where that's at. Can't remember what my next slides are. Oh, we're to the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to go through and answer those. However, I will say, as we go through my kind of plan for the group and this channel, is really just to continue to lay out a lot of the foundations of the basics, talk about concepts that if I was to start all over again, knowing what I know now, if I can help accelerate any of that growth for you guys, that's kind of my plan. So last week we talked about how do you start kind of putting things together to have multiple streams of income. Tonight we talked about marketing. I want to talk a lot about some of the skills, right? Things like copywriting, video editing, video production. How do you actually tactically start to do these things? And I'll be honest, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I can do all of them. Some of them I'm not great at. And so eventually we'll even talk about how do you take the part that you love and start to outsource the other parts? Because that's what we just started doing to kind of get back some more of our time. Say. So also, again, I will just let you guys know, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys go check out the freebie. Okay. We've got that available. It's operation-passive-income.com. Made that website 4 years ago when the other one wasn't available. Go get this week's freebie, because in there, I actually have a ton of info that will actually walk you through, and even some links and some resources to things that might help you along the way. Okay. So feel free to check those out. And if you guys are seeing this on the replay on YouTube, make sure to come over and come join the Facebook group. Okay. We've got on Facebook, the Operation Passive Income Facebook group. We are going to be doing some giveaways as we grow. I've got a ton of content planned out for the group. And so I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are too. And for everybody who joined me tonight, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Again, if I gave you any value, throw up some more fire emojis. Let's finish this thing out. A couple claps, whatever you guys have for me. And if there's any questions that come through later, this might have been a lot of information. I'm not gonna lie. Was this a lot of information? Yeah, we'll see. I may even just make this presentation free for everybody to download as well. So thank you guys for watching. Go enjoy your Friday night. Think about the way you can start building this stuff together. And I'm going to see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.